Exalted Sunborn, Mythic here, Angel Wizard, 3 and 2 whites. Sure, we needed more Broken Angels, didn't we, huh? 4/5, flying, lifelink. If one or more tokens would be... Here we go, guys. And we're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rosicle. My name's Nathaniel. I'm one of the two lovely hosts here on the channel. My lovely co-host is outside in the living room being awesome, but she's not joining us for these because she doesn't necessarily enjoy Limited as much, or doesn't think about the cards from a Limited perspective as quickly, and wanted me to be able to just kind of spill my thoughts at all of you guys. So if you enjoy my thought vomit, here we go on on white cards. If you guys missed the video yesterday, we made colorless and multicolored cards. Now we're doing white. Tomorrow we'll do blue, then black, then red, then green, and guess what? Green comes out on Friday, which is the day that Edge of Eternities releases. So here we go, white cards, what I think of them and how they play in Limited, with the occasional comment of how cool they are in Commander. That being said, right before we jump into this, I wanted to let you guys know, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, comment down below, join our Discord. Any and all of it's super appreciated. There we go. But yeah, we'd love you guys. You guys make Rosicle what it is. We've got a Twitch, all of those great things. Let's jump into this. All Fates Stalker. 3 and a white, 2/3, meh. When it enters, exile up to one target non-assassin creature until this creature leaves the battlefield. Much better. And it's got Warp, which could be used to blink your own effect. Can also be used to unwarp a warp effect. So it's pretty good. I think it's a decent card. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Astelli Reclaimer, 3 and 2 white Angel Warrior. This is a rare flying 5/4, so 5 and 5/4 flying. When it enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card of mana value X or less from your graveyard battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. Okay, so you can warp it in to get a 3-cost thing back from your graveyard, or you can bring it in and get a 5-cost thing back from your graveyard. That's pretty good. I think this is a solid value. I mean, because this right here is already decent value for 5. It's not great, but it's pretty good. And then getting something else back, even better. I'm going to give this about a 7. Auxiliary Boosters. 4 and a white. I might even give that one an 8 up there. 4 and a white artifact equipment common. When it enters, you create a 2/2 robot. Great. Equipped creature gets +1/+2 and has flying, and it has equip 3. Okay, so this does make a 2/2 body when it enters, but it's 5 and then 3. That's a lot. That's way too much. I'm going to say this is pretty unplayable and give it about a 2. Banishing Light here, 2 and a white. We've seen this plenty. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent. It's good removal. It's not great, but it's consistent. I'm going to give it about a 4. Beyond the Quiet, 3 and 2 white. Sorcery, exile all creatures and spacecraft. It's pretty decent. It's a good removal spell, and it exiles, not destroys. So in the terms of constructed, this is going to be good in constructed decks because we finally have a slightly cheaper than Farewell, exile all creatures. That being said, this obviously doesn't replace Farewell, but it might be cheaper than Farewell. That's a really pretty art too. And you know what? I'm going to say in Limited, it sits right at where I would say most other board wipes sit, except slightly better because it exiles. So I'm going to say 6. And it hits spacecraft, so that's nice. All right, Bright Spear Zealot. 2 white human soldier, 2/4. So 3 for a 2/4 is very good. Well, is right on average. Vigilance. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you've cast 2 or more spells this turn. So it's just a 4/4 with Vigilance as long as you've cast 2 or more spells. I think this is fine. This is what we want to see in the common area. So I'll give it about a 3 or a 4. Here we go. Cosmic Grand Zenith, 2 and a white human soldier, 2/4 for 2/4 for 3. However, this one is whenever you cast your second spell each turn, you either make 2 1/1 human soldier creature tokens, or put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. Very powerful, very very powerful. I think this is probably going to land around an 8 for me, because if you let this trigger even twice against you, you're probably done. You probably lost that game. So this is going to be a very good card to pull, and even in constructed, this is pretty powerful. That one's not, you know, I don't hate the full art they're doing there for some of these. Dawn Strike Vanguard, 5 and a white human knight, 4/5 lifelink. The beginning of your instep, if you control 2 or more tapped creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control other than this creature. Pretty good. It's just going to be buffing stuff up. It's a knight. It costs 6. It's not quite what you want for 6, but this gets pretty good. You really only want to do it if you are going to have that many tapped creatures, but this is decent. I run a night deck, so this would maybe make the cut for that. But yeah, I'll give it about a 4 out of 10. Dock Worker Drone, maybe 5. 1 and a white, 1/1. When it enters with a +1/+1 on it, so that's good for your like Celestia synergies. When it dies, put its counters on target creature you control. So if you manage to put more on it, you'll get to put all of them on, but you at least put 1 on something else. So it's a 2-mana 2/2 that might be synergistic for other things, and it is an artifact. I'll give it like a 3, maybe a 4. Dual Sun Adepts, 2 and a white human soldier, 2/2 with double strike. So 3 mana 2/2 with double strike. And you can pay 5 to just give all creatures you control +1/+1. So obviously this as well, and that can be triggered multiple times. I think that's decent. I'll give it a 4 or a 5. Probably a 4. Dual Sun Technique, 1 and a white instant. Combat trick here. Target creature you control gains double strike till end of turn. If it has a +1/+1 counter on it, Celestia, usually, draw a card. Very powerful. In the right deck, this is extremely powerful. It's 2 mana draw. 2 mana replace itself, and combat trick is really good. Double strike's decent here because you can kill something bigger if you really need to. You can also keep your creature alive if you need to. This has a lot of potential. I think because of that, it's going to break into a 4 for me. Maybe even a 5, but I think I'll leave it at a 4. And honestly, that's pretty good, especially considering the fact that combat tricks are tough to do right. So very happy with that one there. I was making sure that everything recording looks good. Hello. Emergency Eject. Here we go. 2 and a white instant. Destroy target non-land permanent. That's nice. Its controller creates a lander token. Don't love the fact that you're giving someone an artifact token that they can go get land with, so this is definitely not going to replace in your constructed formats like, goodness gracious, my brain's not working. Path to Exile? Yeah, it's that one. Path to Exile. But all things considered, this is still decent removal. In this game, I don't think giving them a lander token in most decks is going to be broken, and you can get anything you need to get with this. So I still think this is going to be pretty decent removal. 4 or 5 for me. Exalted Sunborn. Mythic here. Angel Wizard. 3 and 2 whites. Sure, we needed more broken angels, didn't we, huh? 4/5, flying, lifelink. If one or more tokens would be... Here we go, guys. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Because we needed another token doubler. Didn't we, guys? Didn't we just need another token doubler? Alright, well, obviously very powerful. 5 mana, 4/5 flying lifelink that can double tokens. You can warp it in to double tokens that you're going to make earlier. You can also warp it in and then do the other thing that we talked about earlier to keep it. There's all sorts of things you can do. This is broken. This is at least a 9 out of 10. Might be on that verge of 10 out of 10. I just give that out very rarely. Insane. And very good, and obviously very good and constructed. 2 and a white human soldier, 2/2 flying. When it enters, return up to 1 other target permanent you control to its owner's hand. I don't know why you'd want to do... I guess you can re-trigger an enters trigger, but this isn't flash, so you can't use it to save your creature. I'm going to give this pretty low. I'm going to say it's like a 3. Flight Deck Coordinator, 2 and a white, 3/3 at the beginning of your in-step. If you control 2 or more tap creatures, you gain 2 life. I mean, sure, a little bit of life gain there doesn't hurt, but I don't think it's broken. I'm also going to give it a 3. Focus Fire, 1 white instant. It deals X damage to target attacking or blocking creature, where X is 2 plus the number of creatures and or spacecrafts you control. So if you go wide here, this is pretty decent. We've seen this a lot. I like the 1 mana on this. It's not going to remove everything, but for 1 mana, I think this is pretty solid. So I'm going to give it 4 as well. I think it's up there with the other combat trick. Maybe a 3. Halia, Guided by Light. Or Halia. I don't know. 2 and a white, human soldier, 3/3. Whenever Halia or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your in-step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. Okay, so this is just insane in Eowyn, which is where my brain goes for constructed. Absolutely insane, because you can warp this in early on if you need to gain some life and also to draw a card if you think you're going to get that trigger a couple times. Or You can also just bring her out, or later you could warp her and bring out so that you have 2 guaranteed human triggers. It's an AON, one of the biggest things that you don't have enough draw, so this is just, God, this is so broken in that deck. Incredible card. I think this is going to be incredible even in this. I think you're going to have a harder time hitting the triple trigger, right? Because you're going to have 3 things enter, but it can include artifacts, so you're going to get it, but you're not going to get it that often. But 3 mana 3/3 is already pretty good, right? So if you get it once, you got value out of this. So I think limited, I'm probably going to give it about a 7. But very powerful and constructed as well. Overall, pretty powerfully designed card. Hard Light Containment, 1 singular white enchantment aura. Enchant artifacts you control. When this aura enters, exile target creature an opponent controls until this aura leaves the battlefield. Enchanted permanent has ward 1. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. That's a very interesting card. Wow. I don't know why this one's worth so little over here, apparently. Anyways, I think that's very interesting. I mean, you're kind of... They have to destroy your things. It's a lot like... But see, this doesn't have ward 1, so they could still destroy this. Or they could destroy what it's attached to. I don't love that. I think I'm going to give it about a 5 because of that. But I do love the price of it. I do like how cheap this is. Honor. 1 singular white. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature and draw a card. I think this is fine. Again, you're getting your synergies out of this and you're replacing it. It's really just a cantrip, right? And then you're getting a benefit out of it. In Constructed, you could throw this in a deck that has a bunch of benefits for when you do this. You know, think like you put it on a Hydra and all your other cards get +1/+1 as well. But also, this is just playable. This is a combat trick, technically, right? So that's nice, and it does replace itself. So I'll give it about a 4 or a 5 even. I like the combat trick so far in white. Honored Knight Captain, 1 and a white human advisor knight, 1/1 for 2. When it enters, you create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. You can pay 4, sack this creature, search your library for an equipment card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. So if you have a specific equipment card you want, and I mean real specific, because that costs 6 mana. If you have a very specific equipment, this is fine. But honestly, it is 2 mana create 2 1/1s, so I don't hate that. I think this is fine. It lands for me around a 3 or a 4, but you can play it if you have a very specific hit that you're looking for. All right, what else we got? I don't know how many white cards there are, but I imagine there's a good bit. I feel like we probably only have like 5 to 10 more, but I could be way off. I could be way off, by the way. Knight Luminary, 3 and a white human knight, 3/2. When it enters, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, and you can warp it. It's pretty good. Honestly, AON is loving this set. AON is absolutely adoring this set. Although, Trenton, if you ever see this, I imagine you're not happy because all of these are flavor fails for Lord of the Rings. But you know what? Sure. You can warp it in. 4 mana, 3/2, but really you're getting 4/3 out of the power. You're paying for the warp ability here. I think this is pretty weak compared to what we've seen, so I'm going to give it a 2. All right, Lightstall Inquisitor. Angel Wizard, 2/1 for 1 Vigilance. Whenever it enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. May play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Each spell cast this way costs 1 more to cast. Each land played this way enters tapped. They only exile a card from their hand, but it is only 1 mana. I mean, 1 mana flying to 1 mana. Sorry, not flying. 1 mana vigilance 2/1 with this added benefit that you're slowing down your opponent is incredible. I mean, for 1 mana, that's incredible. This is incredible. So I'm gonna give it like an 8 out of 10. But you got to keep in mind that 8 out of 10 is an effect for 1 white. Like turn 1, this is what you got. They're like, oh god, here we go. Lumen class frigate. 2 mana rare here, station, so it does nothing when you play it. But very quickly, other creatures you control are getting +1/+1, so it's a 2 mana... oh, Lord. Y'all, you guys are going to make fun of me for not remembering. Is it Anthem? Is that what it's called? 2 mana Anthem here. But then it does become a 3/5 flying lifelinker later on. I think that's fine. For rare, I'd like to see this do a little bit more, but it probably lands around a 5 for me. All right, next we have Lux Knight Breacher, human knight 2/2. When it enters with a, so it's for 4 mana, enters with a +1/+1 counter on it for each other creature and or artifact you control. Okay, so this could definitely get pretty big pretty fast. This could enter as a pretty large creature for 4 mana. I think that's pretty good. That being said, it enters as a 2/2 normally. If you're in Celestia, this is obviously a lot better, but I'm going to say it probably enters on average as a 3/3 or a 4/4, which for the or a 4/4 or maybe a little bit more. So you're getting like baseline price or higher, but that downside's not necessarily worth it. So I'm going to give it about a 3, I think, maybe a 4. Pinnacle, although you do get it for artifacts you control. Pinnacle Star Cage, 1 and 2 white, total of 3 artifact. When it enters, exile all artifacts and creatures with mana value 2 or less until it leaves. Sure. That's going to hit a lot of tokens, though, so then those are never going to come back. 6 and 2 white, put each card exiled with this into its owner's graveyard, then create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token for each card put into a graveyard this way, and then sack this artifact. I don't think that's great at all. I think this is pretty much unplayable and limited, because you're not going to hit a whole lot of things with mana value 2 or less. I just don't think you are. I think this is designed very strategically for Commander. So I'm going to say in limited, this is unplayable. Give it a 1 out of 10. Pulsar Squadron Ace, 1 and a white human pilot, 1/2. When it enters, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a spacecraft card among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. If you didn't, it's a 2/3. Sure. This has the upside of like, oh shoot, I didn't hit anything, so I like that. I'm going to give it a 4 because of that. Radiant Strike, 3 and a white instant. Destroy target artifact or tapped creature. I like that it's not tapped artifact, right? So you can just get rid of their massive spaceships and then you gain 3 life. Now 4 mana is a little expensive for tapped creature, but with the amount of artifacts that are in this set, I think this is probably still playable. I'll give it a 3, maybe a 4, borderlining. So yeah. Ray Blade Trooper, 2 and a white human soldier, 2/2, enters with a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. So it could be a 3/3 or you can buff something else. Whenever a non-token creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it dies, you get to create a human soldier token. That's pretty good. You would have to put +1/+1 counters on them, but I mean, sure, that's fine. And you can warp it in. I think this is a lot for a 3 mana, so I'm gonna give it about a 4, maybe even borderline 5. That's pretty powerful. Okay, there's a lot more than I thought. Reroute Systems, 1 white instant, choose 1, target artifact or creature gains indestructible, okay. Or it deals 2 damage to target tapped creature. I think for 1 white, this is fine. It's a good little bit of protection. It's kind of reminding me of like Snakeskin Veil almost vibes going on here, so I'm here for it. I think that you might run it in certain decks, so I'll give it like a 3 or a 4. Rescue Skiff, 5 and a white, so 6 mana. When it enters, return target creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's pretty good. You can just get something back for free, and then later it can become a 5/6 flyer. I think that's actually pretty solid because it does do something when it enters. So I'm going, and then tap another creature you control. So this can happen to that. You can tap that creature because this is what's tapping it. It's not the creature that's tapping itself. It's something else that's tapping it. So keep that in mind. You can play this, get a big creature, tap it instantly to get your station going. I mean, it's probably not going to be enough to get your station going, but you might be able to have other creatures, and then bam, you got a 5/6. It's pretty solid. Yeah, I think this is playable. I'll give it a 4 or a 5. Probably closer to a 4, but still. Scout for Survivor, maybe a 5. It gets something back. 2 and a white sorcery. Return it to 3 target creature cards with total mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's not going to hit that many creatures. I don't think that's very powerful because it's probably going to hit just one creature. But I guess it has potential. I'm going to say this probably fails more often than not, so I'll give it like a 2 or a 3 because of that. Seam Rip. This is a really cool art. 1 white. When it enters, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls mana value 2 or less until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. I wonder if there's enough stuff to really be hitting that. I mean, sure, I think it's fine, but I need to know like what are the targets that are often going to be hit for mana value 2 or less. Right now, I'm giving it a skeptical 3. Squire's Lightblade, 1 white, artifact, equipment, flash, common. When it enters, attach it to a creature you control. That creature gains first strike until end of turn. So only until end of turn, it gets +1/+0. It does have flash, so this is acting as a combat trick, and it sticks around and it stays attached to that creature, but it only stays attached to give them 1 more power. I think it's a fine combat trick that actually gives you an artifact. It gives you something that sticks around. I think because of that, I like it a little bit more. So I'll let it break into the 3 or 4 category as well. Starfield Shepherd, 3 and 2 white, angel flying 3/2. When it enters, search your library for a basic plains card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle, and you can warp it in. I don't think that's great, honestly. I'm not going to lie, because of how weak this creature is. You're gonna have to have something to hit with that, and you might even want to have multiple in case you already had it, and you might want to warp it to. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love this, honestly. I'm gonna give it a 3. Okay, I was way off. Starfighter Pilot, 1 and a white, 2/2. Whenever it becomes tapped, surveil 1. I mean, that's useful, but I don't think it's broken. So I'm gonna say, I mean, you can tap it to station things, so that's why that's a little bit more powerful. But yeah, I mean, surveilling is useful. I don't think it's gonna. I'm not gonna discredit it. I'll give it a 3 or a 4. It's right there in like the cards you want kind of vibe. Starport Security. 1 white, 1/1, robot soldier. You can pay 3 and a white, tap it, tap another target creature. This ability costs 2 less to activate if you control a creature ++. Okay, so then that's just a 1 and a white, tap it to tap another target creature, which could be useful to tap down some opponents. This is pretty cheap to get out early, so I don't hate it, but I don't think it does crazy things. Give it a 3. Sunstar Chaplain? I don't know. 1 and a white, 3/2. Pretty good. Human Cleric. At the beginning of your end step, if you control 2 or more tap creatures, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. That doesn't seem too bad. Pay 2. Remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control to tap target artifact or creature. Yeah, you're getting a lot out of 2 mana here. I'm definitely I'm okay with this card. I'm going to give it about a 6 for that. I think that's pretty good, and it's rare, so you won't see it too much. But Sunstar Expansionist, 1 and a white, uncommon, human knight, 2/3. When it enters, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a lander token. That's nice. With a landfall, and it's a 2/3 for 2, sure. And whenever a land you control enters, sure, this thing's really powerful. 2 mana, 2/3, more often than not create a lander, and it has landfall. Yeah, sure. That's like a 5 for an uncommon. Sunstar Lightsmith, 3 and a white. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature and draw a card. That's very good, because that's going to kind of keep the gas going for casting your second spell each turn. This is taking a bit of a hit, but if you cast it and then one other spell, you can go ahead and get that trigger on the turn you play it. So it's a 4/4, and you drew a card for 4 mana with potential upside in the future. Pretty good. Definitely sitting around a 4 or a 5 for me. The Sarima, 1 and 2 white spacecraft. When it enters, search your library for a legendary creature card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Sure, why not? So it's 3 mana, go fetch a legendary. That's decent. And then you can 7+ on the station. It's a flying 5/5, and other tapped legendary creatures you control have indestructible. Cool. So you can actually station this creature to give it indestructible. Now you can only do that at sorcery speed, but still, if you immediately get it, then you've kind of given indestructible for a turn, and you've gotten your 5/5, so that's pretty decent. I think that's probably okay. You're going to need a legendary to hit with it, which in limited might not be as valuable. So, but still a 3 mana potential 5/5 is very good. It probably lands around a 7 out of 10. At this point, we are just waiting. There we go. Wedge Light Rammer, 3 and a white spacecraft. When it enters, create a robot, and it's a flying first strike 3/4 at 9. That's okay. I'll give it a 3 or a 4. Weft Blade Enhancer, 6 mana, 3/4, enters, put +1/+1 each up to 2 target creatures, so that's decent, making up for some of the price, and you can get those +1/+1 counters on the warp. I think that's fine, probably about a 3. Zealous Display, this is our last one. 2 and a white instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. If it's not your turn, untap those creatures. That's pretty decent for a defensive stance. I think this is a fun combat trick. I'm a sucker for fun combat tricks. So I'm going to say that this is a 4 in my book, but it might play worse than that. There we have it. There's a blue card down here that we're not even going to look at. There we have it. Thank you guys for being so awesome. Let me know down in the comments below what was your white card that you're most excited about. That Angel sounds broken. We didn't need another token doubler, and we already had too many. We got another one in what, Aether Drift was it? Or was it? No, it was Tarkir, I think, that we got the Elspeth. Yeah, it was Tarkir. So we just got one, and we did not need another one. And now there's so many in white, and there's a good couple in green. Oh, y'all. Like, Angels didn't need more broken cards, but to be fair, I don't think you make a ton of tokens in Angels, so yeah. Anyways, let me know down in the comments below what your favorite card was. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Me and Ashley would appreciate it. She says she loves y'all, even though she's not here in the videos. She does miss you guys, and she's hanging out in the background, making sure all these videos come out, making awesome thumbnails for them. So leave her some love down in the comments below, because she is awesome, and this channel wouldn't be here without her. Lots of love to her. And yeah, thank you guys for being so awesome. We'll see you tomorrow for blue. But until then, may those rolls be ever in your favor. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye, y'all.